What is up, guys? It is Jed Wrestling here, back again with a video. Can you believe it? Yes, I am making a video. I know it's been a while since I did a mainstream video, and I do sincerely apologize. It's quite a busy time, but the other day I got two new WWE action figures, that being the Ultimate Edition Jimmy Uso and the Ultimate Edition Series 25 Final Boss The Rock. I'm pretty sure the Jimmy is Ultimate Series 26, and then The Rock is Series 25. I could be wrong on that, but they're two new Ultimate Editions. They're both freaking awesome. Let's get into it right now. Starting things off with, let's go with The Rock first. Jumping first into the accessories for the final boss, The Rock. This is, of course, based off of WrestleMania 40, so he's going to have the full WrestleMania 40 jacket and pants combo here. First, you can see the fully cloth vest for The Rock. A lot of really cool designs going throughout, some red, some white. It's mostly black. On the back, you can see the Brahma Bull logo, and it says Final Boss. And you can see this collar up here, which you can put down if you want. It's not colored on the inside. It's just like white, which is the color of the inside of the jacket. So it's not going to be printed on the inside. So I guess I kind of just leave the collar up. But this is still a really cool jacket, especially when you have the pants. Now, I've said before, I'm not normally a fan of cloth pants on figures, but I think it really works here. So you can have entrance gear rock and you can have wrestling gear rock. And these pants also don't look too loose on the figure. I think they're pretty decently tight, and that's how I think cloth pants should be. They don't look baggy. They look really good. You can see some designs going on both the left and the right side, and it Velcros up in the back, so it is very easy to remove and put back on. Here is the People's Championship that he came out with at WrestleMania 40. Because you guys remember the 2024 Hall of Fame ceremony when they were inducting Muhammad Ali? Muhammad Ali's widow actually gave The Rock this People's Championship, which I think is really cool. You can see another Brahma Bull logo on the front where it says People's Champion. It's a seven-plated title, really detailed on the strap where you can see, is that a signature? They actually printed a signature onto this thing. I can't exactly read what that is. It probably just says The Rock, but they actually printed a signature on the side of this thing. If you can see that, and you can see a gold plate on the end, on both ends actually, and it does clip up pretty easily on the back, so you can put it around the waist of The Rock. But I think it's more preferable to put it around his shoulder because that's how he actually had it when he came out at WrestleMania 40. We're seeing a wide variety of interchangeable head sculpts. And honestly, I mean, they're all good in their own right, but I feel like I would prefer to just see like a blank, absolutely like no expressions rock face, just like completely mute. This one is probably the best one in my opinion. He does have the gritted teeth, but I don't know. I feel like I would have just preferred just a blank, no facial expressions rock, where his mouth is closed. He's just 100% mute. This one is probably my favorite. I think it does look like the Rock. It does do him justice, but it also does look like a heel Rock, which is definitely what they were going for here. But I don't know. I would have just preferred a blank face. This one is most certainly not a face for heel Rock. This is a baby face Rock face, if you know what I'm saying, because he's smiling. This is definitely not the one I'm going to be keeping on my Ultimate Edition Rock. And then the last head sculpt is pretty unique. You can see the screaming face for the Rock. His eyes are closed, his mouth is open. It does kind of look like Maven in my opinion, but this one still does look good. I think it looks pretty decently like the Rock. As for interchangeable hands, we are going to be seeing the ones for the sky hands and the fisted hands, which we definitely have seen before. But a set of interchangeable hands that I actually don't have are the just bring it hands. This is where the Rock goes like this, and he's like, just bring it. So this definitely works if you want to make some cool stop motions with the Rock. Like if I want to make a stop motion match with the Rock, chances are I'm gonna do the just bring it spot. And these hands do look really cool. They're very detailed and molded. And yeah, they look really good on the Rock. I'll be sure to detail that after we get into the figure. Jumping now into the WrestleMania 40 Night 1 Rock figure. You can see that I have the gritted teeth face on him right now, which, like I said, is my favorite head sculpt. But also, like I said, I would have preferred a fully mute face. But I guess that's not the biggest deal. You can see he's fully bald, going all the way around, just like The Rock these days. He does have an absolutely shredded torso, which, not gonna lie, it does bother me a little bit to have this completely just jacked torso on The Rock. I feel like this torso on Ultimates, they used it on Roman Reigns, They used it on Eddie Guerrero. They used it on Kurt Angle, Bobby Lashley, and I feel like it didn't really do any. But Bobby Lashley, it did do Bobby Lashley justice, I guess. And who else did they use it on? I think it did Batista justice as well. But as for someone like The Rock, especially in 2024, I don't think this really resembles what The Rock looked like last year. Certainly doesn't resemble what he looked like now. Have you seen The Rock now? He's got like a fully slimmed down appearance. He looks nothing like the Rock that we were seeing like 10 years ago. But you can see the chest tattoo on one side and some more tribal designs on all of the arms of the Rock. Pretty iconic tattoos here. And this is where his old Brahma Bull logo used to be until he sort of upgraded it with this huge tattoo. You can see the jacked arms with the double jointed pinless elbows, which are only slightly inhibited by the elbow pads, but that's not the biggest deal. You can also throw the elbow pads off and do the people's elbow, so that would allow you to get some more articulation there. Moving down to these trunks, this is of course the WrestleMania 40 Night 1 attire. So you're going to see the red and white The Rock logo on the front and the red and white Brahma Bull logo. You got some black knee pads down here and the black boots with the opening in the back. Doesn't inhibit much articulation. It does inhibit a bit of articulation, but not much. And you can see the updated ankle pivot, and the toe articulation. This is a really nice moving rock. The legs move good. As for the knees are when it does get a little stiff, but I'll definitely have to wear that. And this rock is definitely very, very cool. Let's pop some accessories on it right now and see how he looks. Here is the rock dripped out with all of his accessories, including these sunglasses, which didn't actually come with the figure. I'm honestly surprised they didn't. Because if you look on the box, here is The Rock from WrestleMania 40 with his sunglasses, and then they didn't actually feature them on the figure. But there's a bunch of other sunglasses that I have in my collection, so it wasn't that big of a deal. You can see the full tracksuit with the vest and the pants, and the People's Championship, and he's saying "Just bring it" with that screaming head sculpt. I do really like this Rock. There are some minor issues I have with it, but I'm going to give this figure an 8 out of 10. Now let's jump into Big Jim. Into the accessories for the Ultimate Edition, Jimmy Uso. We are going to be seeing the cloth no yeet shirt, which I'm glad we're finally seeing with this Jimmy Uso, because I have two yeet shirts that come with the Jey Uso, Chase and regular versions, so I'm very glad to have this no yeet shirt in the collection. It is Velcro-less, so it says Jimmy on the back, and then it says pretty much the regular Yeet logo with like a spray painted no over it. This was a really cool idea for a shirt at the time. I'm glad we're seeing it in an action figure. Here is the lei, which is a little different from the Ulafala because you are going to be seeing the flowers and then the black little petals instead of the chili peppers. But it does fit on the Jimmy Uso really well. It's a mold we have seen before. I just don't have one in this specific color, so that's pretty cool. What is a mold that we might not have seen before is this silver chain. I do have some other gold chains, and this one does look like a different mold. It looks a little bigger. I'm probably just an idiot. I think it's the regular old mold that we've been seeing. It just looked a little bit different when I got it out of the box. But the silver chain, you can also put that on the Jimmy Uso, and it looks real good. You got some fisted interchangeable hands and some ones interchangeable hands, which we all have seen before, much like the case with The Rock. But into the head sculpts, these head sculpts are where it gets really cool. You got this face, which is like I don't really know how you describe this face, but it's like that shot at Royal Rumble 2024 when he's sort of looking at Jey Uso, and they captured that really well. And you can recreate that moment if you have the Elite 114 Jey Uso, which is very cool. His eyes are bugged out, his teeth are gritted, as are they on this head sculpt. This is one we have actually seen before with the Elite 106 Jimmy Uso and the Elite 114 Jimmy Uso, I'm pretty sure, except this time the hair is not interchangeable. I kind of thought it would be, but I don't really see a point in having the hair interchangeable because it doesn't come with any other interchangeable pieces. So they just glued it on this time, but we have seen this head sculpt before. And then this head sculpt, I believe this is the same head sculpt that we saw with the ringside exclusive Ultimate Edition Jimmy Uso, the first one, just with a different headpiece. Because this is the screaming facial expression. I don't have that first Ultimate Edition, so I can't attest to that, but it does look pretty similar. And it does have a fully new deco with the braids going on to the back, which is the case for all three of these Jimmy Uso head sculpts. Some really cool hair going on. with this Jimmy. Here is Jimmy Uso with what I have decided is my favorite head sculpt with the bugged out facial expression. I think this one's the most unique and it's the one that looks the most like Jimmy Uso in my personal opinion. You can see the two braids going around to the back. As for the rest of the figure, he does have this pretty standard looking torso, which I think fits for Jimmy Uso. He's not the most jacked guy in the world, so I definitely think this torso is a good fit for him. As for the tattoo detail, it does have some really cool updated details compared to the last current Jimmy Uso I got. Because the last current Jimmy I got was like a while ago, dude. It was like a top picks released in like 2023. So it's very good to get an updated Jimmy Uso here in the collection. You can see the continuation of the tattoo going onto his back and his lower neck, sort of. I just dropped it. As for the chest and the arms, that stuff has pretty much remained the same. Pretty basic arms with some great articulation. You can see the fully uninhibited double jointed elbow, microphone holding hands. Going down, these pants are pretty much all red, but they're like a really shiny, glossy red, which I think is really cool. And I'm pretty sure these also are different molds from the Jey Uso because, like from the other Uso figures that we've seen. Because if you get Jay in here, if you zoom in close enough, you can see that he does have this little line detail on the front of his knee. It's really hard to make out. There it is. You can see the lines on the knees of the Jey Uso. And with this Jimmy Uso, you do not see that. It's fully smooth. So I guess this is a new mold of legs here. I definitely do prefer these because I always thought the lines on the legs were a little bit weird. But articulation on the legs does move really nice. And if you get the hip displacements going on, you can get some really cool poses, especially for the super kicks, which is really cool. And he does have these white shoes, which we've been seeing a lot of recently. These fully new molds for shoes with the updated ankle pivot and the toe articulation. We see those on the elites all the time as well. Overall, this Jimmy Uso really has impressed me. I do like this big Jim a lot, and it is going to be a fixture in my stop motion matches. And here's that comparison I was waiting for. Yeet versus no Yeet, Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso in both of their respective shirts. Looks very, very awesome. I also want to get my old Jimmy Uso in here to show off, and this one looks so lame compared to this Ultimate Edition Jimmy Uso. This Ultimate is where it's at. I don't even think this head sculpt looks too much like Jimmy Uso, but dude, this one is perfect. I cannot wait to use this Ultimate Edition Big Jim. No heat. And of course, the bloodline runs deep. So here are some comparisons with some relatives of The Rock and Jimmy Uso. Getting classic, we have Umaga, as well as the OTC Roman Reigns. And then on the right, we have Jacob Fatu and a new top pick, Solo Sikoa. But yes, guys, that just about does it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please let me know what you think in the comments down below. I'd also greatly appreciate it if you were to smash a like on this video, subscribe to Jed Wrestling, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. You know, every month when I post a video at this point, I know it's a busy time for me. I'm trying to post videos whenever I can, but it's going to get better, trust me. Jed Wrestling out.